Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's Div C matchup between Periloot and Lurk Patrol. Coming from you on the East Coast, I'm Dead Latin, coasting our West Coast game tonight versus two teams who are some NGS veterans who have started out strong, each with a 2-0 domination. After having, well, on Periloot's case, decent season last season, and Lurk Patrol has shown a lot of improvement over last season, I would say. Especially as Lurk Patrol has beaten Pigeon Stitches, one of the leading teams from last season. Looks like other teams are joining the lobby right now, as one of them is having issues, so we'll probably be a little bit delayed in getting our match underway. But when we look now to see the maps, what we had is Lurk Patrol ended up winning the coin flip and choosing for first map pick. They ended up banning Altrak Pass and Braxis Holdout, while Periloot banned Volskaya Foundry and Dragonshire. And so we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for map number 1. Should be pretty interesting, as already, of course, having picked it, Lurk Patrol does have a victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen, although playing, I'd say, a somewhat unconventional comp. ETC is seen a lot on that Tomb of the Spider Queen, who was played last time by them in their win against Pigeon Stitches, just because he's able to control pretty easily, and I'd argue safely, trying to control the rotations in between mid and top. Meanwhile, they've also seen in both their games in their last match, Gul'dan used, someone who in Div C has been played quite a bit. Already, Gul'dan has a 75% popularity in the West with a 100% win rate, so definitely look to see him as a contested hero. Also, Leoric, very popular so far in Div C West, thanks to Dominator stats, showing that he has been used 33% of the time as the most popular bruiser, and has a 50% win rate, although a 100% win rate for Lurk Patrol, so also look for them to be using him in today's draft. Looks like the teams are just readying up now, so we might be underway shortly. As we get into the draft here, it will be Periloot with the first pick, well, at least first ban, first of all, in today's draft. Should be interesting to see if they go for trying to contest Lurk Patrol on some of those picks I mentioned earlier, especially the Leoric Gul'dan. Gul'dan, I think, has to be an early ban, or else it might be picked up pretty early on by Lurk Patrol, as we instead see a Nubrak who has 100% participation, so will likely be banned or picked every single time in this match, just because of how he is dominant as a tank, just being able to have as much CC and durability as he does, even with some of his nerfs to his popular Beetle build. And then Johanna being nerfed out by Lurk Patrol, especially as Periloot has a strong history of playing Johanna, and in fact did play her once in their last match. We see a Kale ban, which is pretty interesting, even though Lurk Patrol hasn't played him so far this season. He was a hero that was played by them twice last season. However, I think Gul'dan would be the much better ban, as he is the mage, preferred mage hero of Lurk Patrol. And then Ana being banned out, another, or at least the most popular healer so far, I believe, with 75% popularity. But the reason why they didn't ban Gul'dan is Toasty wants to steal it right away. So it should be interesting to see how Lurk Patrol reacts to, I'd argue, their first pick being stolen right away by Periloot. Whether they try to set it up and pivot to getting a clearing assassin right away to replace, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing with Gunny picking up Hanzo, as well as Ace being able to get Diablo. Diablo was played by them except on Infernal Shrines last time, so perhaps he was just banned out in the first match, and then they were able to pick him, decided to try to get him early. Meanwhile, Ariel being picked up, a classic combo with Gul'dan Ariel. Just because Gul'dan's able to provide a fantastic battery for the amount of damage he's able to put out, especially once he's able to get Echoed Corruption done. And then, because the one downside of Gul'dan, of course, is having to use your health to get mana, that's not as much of a problem when you have Ariel pumping all of her heals into you. And then Murden, in order to get the main tank locked up. Murden also pretty solid at being able to control the rotations in between top and mid, as well as Diablo. Them and ETC are arguably the three best, so definitely look to see if the main tanks do contest the rotations. Imperius then banned out by Lurk Patrol, as he has been played by Periloot as their bruiser, as their preferred bruiser in this season and last season. And then the Orc being banned out as the preferred bruiser of Lurk Patrol. So, seeing some respect, I would say, of the bruisers picks being banned out. So now it's up to Lurk Patrol. I expect to see a support in the slot, maybe also the soul laner, just to try to get one off the board. It is the support with Ektar picking Lucio, and then Hidef actually picks up Sylvanas here. So plenty of wave clear on the side of Lurk Patrol. Look for them to be being able to put a ton of map pressure on, as they won't have any problem really putting or being behind in rotations in between top and mid if they decide to go that route. And also it opens up Gunny to maybe take something else at the level 7 talent tier. And then Jaina going to be the preferred wave clear. I should say preferred, because they already have Gul'dan as well as Sonya to be put in the solo lane, or the Sonya lane, whichever you prefer. So already these teams going to be clearing a ton of minions. It's going to come down to, can they protect their holder of the gems to get a successful turn-in, as Artanis is the pick for Bruiser on the side of Lurk Patrol. But anyways, can they protect likely their main tank, especially early on the side of Lurk Patrol as Diablo's getting his souls, in order to make sure that they can get that first turn-in? Because the amount of siege potential both of these teams have, the first turn-in, which is normally not that destructive, just being so early on in the game, could potentially be devastating and turned into a snowball for either team. Now, when I look at the draft, it's really hard to determine a real winner. I think I slightly prefer the draft of Lurk Patrol, just because of the fact that they have that devastating Diablo, who's able to just put a ton of pressure onto Jaina or Gul'dan if they want to step up in order to really try to push through their damage. And so if Ace is able to get a couple combos, especially later on in the game, where he's able to basically full 100-0 Jaina and Gul'dan, that might be the turning point and the slight edge that Lurk Patrol needs in order to get what looks to be a very close match. But here we go as we get into game number 1. For Lurk Patrol, it will be Ace on Diablo, Hornock on Artanis, Ektar on Lucio, Hidef on Sylvanas, and Gunny on the Hanzo. Then on the side of Periloot, it will be Helio on the Ariel. I don't know why I forgot. Toasty on the Gul'dan, Swill on the Murden, Argo Booster on, I believe, the Jaina, and Carthan on the Sonya. So it looks like both teams going to pretty much be sending everyone. Of course, this map is so small, it doesn't really matter how you start off, like lane assignment wise, just because of how fast you can rotate in between. Sonya is starting the bot lane to get a head start on getting the minions cleared. But both teams just willing to sit back and not necessarily take a fight to begin. Now here we go, Argo Booster dropping the Blizzard. Ektar trying to deny the gems onto Swill as Ace goes for the flank onto Argo Booster, who is just forced to back up here as Ace just takes a ton of damage as he retreats from his rotation in. Meanwhile, Lurk Patrol slightly behind, just with the power of Jaina's combo. So they will be forced to rotate slightly behind. Ida has to be careful here as the remaining members of Periloot do rotate down now, but able to back up successfully in time for her to get away. Ace finds the charge on Argo Booster, but not able to go more. Nice attainment strike by Helio. Locks up Ace for just a second, but not able to quite get the damage through to get the kill onto Ace. Now it's Gunny who's been forced to put up here, trying to lean against the 4 rotating members of Periloot. So far, gems pretty much equal, but it is, of course, very early on. As actually Ace rotated down into the bot lane to try to get the jump onto Carthan, but was not successful. So now another nice attainment strike kind of delays Ace's rotation, but Argo Booster stepping up a little bit to try to get some chip damage onto Ace, while he still doesn't have that his souls quite yet. But the remaining members have plenty of clear, so they're still able to clear the top lane in time to get that valuable XP. Not only that, but Swill able to get that small incremental turn-in of 16 gems, which will prove to be very valuable later on. A lot of damage being put out onto Ida, but she's able to successfully get away. And so the remaining members of Periloot will then rotate back to the top lane. Gunny has mostly cleared the top lane already, so they'll just sit back and wait to be able to clear the remaining minions while Periloot rotates. Now in the bot lane, meanwhile, we saw Argo Booster rotate down in order to try to potentially take the camp, but the remaining members of Periloot are now rotating down too, as Argo Booster goes down. Harnock though in trouble, as we see Lurk Patrol now rotating in, or excuse me, Periloot now rotating in, as Artanis will go down. Now Ace in trouble. The chase is on. Will he be able to get out? It looks like the speed up from Ektar will be the difference in order to get Ace out with the 1-for-1 trade, but the bot siege camp going over to the side of Periloot. Nice advantage for them here in the spot lane, but it looks like they're just going to go back to the rotation. Now Argo Booster was able to get the additional wave in the top lane, so they didn't miss too much XP, just around 2 waves. But now they're trying to get groups back up, but Argo Booster being denied the rotation from Ektar and Gunny. Will they be able to get the kill? They will. A nice pick onto the Jaina. Swill looking to see if he can even up the score. The damage going onto Gunny, but Toasty not quite able to put out enough damage to get the kill. Gunny will be forced to back for now, but that will be an advantage in the top rotation. Ace able to get the incremental turn in the bot lane, but not able to really put enough damage in order to force Carthan to back up quite yet. The Siege Giant almost down in the bot lane as Harnock finishes it off. Swill looking to maybe get a rotate of his own in the bot lane, but not quite able to. Ace trying to get the combo, but not able to put Swill under towers, so Swill will just be able to back up for now and rejoin his team in the mid lane. Gunny found out on his own turn-in from Helio, so forced to back up and instead try to soak this top lane. But Argo Booster and Toasty trying to soak and force out Gunny, so he'll be forced to back up while the members of Periloot able to soak the top wave. XP so far is equal, as already it's just 3 away for Lurk Patrol in order to get the turn-in. Ace trying to finish it off, but found out by Carthan. Swill gets the engage in. Nice attainment strike there by Helio, but they can't quite put enough damage in order to burst Ace down. Now up to 34 gems on the turn-in for Periloot. They'll be looking for one, but the sneak up top from Gunny, who's they forgot about in lane, able to successfully get the turn-in this top lane, but maybe he will pay for it with his life. As the rotation comes in, he leaps back to the left, but that will just be delaying the inevitable as Toasty able to finish him off. In the meanwhile, Lurk Patrol was able to get their bruiser camp in order to put a large amount of pressure in this mid lane. Should be interesting to see if they can potentially turn this into more than just a gate, as 3 members from Periloot do rotate in order to respond. Swill forced to jump out as pressure is starting to be put onto him from the members of Lurk Patrol. Instead, the members of Lurk Patrol going to rotate up as they try to catch out Argo Booster. It's just Ektar and Ace though, so not quite enough damage, but the nice flip into high def will allow for her to secure the kill right yet again onto Ektar Booster. So even though they weren't able to get a bunch of siege damage, that does give them a slight advantage in terms of XP, I believe. No, looks like the XP advantage still on the side of Periloot, and now they just need 16 gems in order to get the turn-in. When we look to stack so far, Murden almost done with his baseline quests. And 17 stacks so far for Gul'dan. As it looks like Swill is able to get that turn in the top lane in order for their own Web Weaver phase to start descending. Should be interesting to see if the members of Periloot are able to do more with their Web Weaver phase than Lurk Patrol was able to do with their own first Web Weaver phase. Especially as they're about equal power, both being about 2 minutes apart. Ektar has to be a little bit careful there as they look for the pick on a Toasty. A nice swap there by Harnock, able to get the kill. And now the chase is on for Argo Booster. Ektar going deep with the wall ride, or push off, but not able to quite get close enough. So they will just turn into clearing this top spider to make sure it is not able to secure the top gate. However, the members of Periloot now turning onto this mid tower, able to get the gate, but are going to back up before the members of Lurk Patrol rotate in order to potentially get a pick. So thus they go into the bot lane. Just Gunny to try to defend against this. They're going to get the gate. Will they look for more? They'll look at least for the well, it looks like. But I expect for them to back up. But here comes Ace and Ektar on the rotation from behind. Will they be able to catch someone out? The knockback comes in. A huge combo with the swap from Harnock. And the arrow gets the kill onto Karnock. Now it is Murden in trouble with Swill. Will he be able to get out? He does pop the avatar. But another nice swap from Harnock, able to put him back as they get the kill with the finish off from Gunny. So that will allow for them on the side of Lurk Patrol to be able to get the turn in, I believe, of their 51 gems they have. And they're looking for more. Can they get Toasty? Harnock with the small swap now going in, along with High Def, but the fear enough in order to prevent Harnock from getting the kill and almost killing him. Nice play there from Toasty to save his life and potentially make a huge play. But now the members of Lurk Patrol looking to finish off their turn-in and get their second Web Weaver phase. In the meanwhile, the members of Periloot were able to get their Bruiser camp in the mid lane in order to help with this defense. So now it's a full 5v5 fight. A slight ult advantage for the members of Periloot as the cooldown still burning on the side of Lurk Patrol, but will be up just shortly. The crucial part is, can Harnock get potentially the opening swap? He goes for it. No, he just tries to potentially bait out something by just charging. As they're trying to, looks like, poke a Toasty and Swill down right now before they go in. Ace now looking for the flank, not able to find anyone quite yet. Ektar, a lot of pressure going on as the water elemental is popped, but the members of Lurk Patrol going to decide to play it safe and just back up as they look to push now with this more valuable top Web Weaver. Ace getting the charge on a Karthen, but the arrow does whiff from Gunny. However, the members on Periloot are split as two went into the bot lane. As the wailing arrow goes out and hits two members, but might not be enough. Oh, the speed boosted Ektar with the Horrify means he's way in the back line. Is there enough damage, or will he be able? He barely is able to save himself with the Amp It Up, as they will be able to take down the first fort of the game in the top lane. Here come the members of Periloot rotating up, but they're going to rotate safely, not look for any picks now, as they do finish off this top Web Weaver. In the mid lane, a lot of pressure being put on from the minions, forcing a response from Lurk Patrol, as they will now look for their Bruiser camp, it looks like, with Harnock scouting it out. It will indeed start it. But Karthen going in, looking for Ektar, able to get the pull, but not the finish off. As both teams now poking. Periloot looking for the turn-in to get up to 26 gems so far, as the remaining members of Lurk Patrol finish off their Bruiser camp in the mid lane. Fingers Frost is completed by Jaina. So a nice boost to the damage output of Argo Booster. As now we go back to the laning phase. 4 members of Periloot gonna easily clear the Bruiser camp in the mid lane for now. But the rotation from Lurk Patrol coming in pretty conservatively, not looking for a pick quite yet. Meanwhile in the bot lane, Harnock laning against Karthen, with Ace, Ektar, and High Def rotating down, looking for the pick or potentially just the camp. So when Karthen see this and try to back up, Karthen might be picked after the swap from Harnock, but able to successfully get away. Here comes the water elemental, as it looks like it's a commitment here from Periloot for a fight potentially. Swill looking to potentially get the engage. The fear ends up landing onto Harnock. A nice beat from Ektar, able to successfully temporarily save Artanis' life, but Harnock will still go down. The 2-man APOC there from Ace, but Ace will still go down. Meanwhile, no trading of kills on the side of Lurk Patrol. A nice scattering arrow almost finds or finishes off Carthan, but not quite able to find its mark. Toasty taking a ton of damage from High Def, but will not go down as a nice heal from Helio will heal him back up. The members of Periloot are looking for this bot fort now as Ace comes back into the fight. Gets the charge on the Argo booster. Is that the pick that they're able to get? Ektar going very deep with the wall ride, looking for the kill. 40 health, is able to barely be saved from Helio. So the cooldown comes just in time. And Lurk Patrol is able to save their bot fort for now. Now the members of Periloot are getting close to their next turn-in as they are just 7 gems away after they turn in the rest of their gems. So it looks like Lurk Patrol is going to take this opportunity with them seeing 2 members in the mid lane in order to take the bot siege camp, as well as have Gunny finish off the gate in the bot lane. Meanwhile, the members of Periloot are rotating down to deal with the pressure being put in the bot lane. This will allow for the members of Lurk Patrol to rotate up, try to get some more soak in the mid lane. The problem is their top lane is way too pushed up, so they won't be able to get any soak from there. The XP, though, is still completely even, as this game could go either way. Oh, Lurk Patrol looking to see with the response from Periloot in the bot lane. That means they're going to go for the boss camp now, utilizing the siege camp as a distraction. The members of Periloot are rotating up, but I don't think it will be fast enough as they're conservatively rotating after taking their bruiser camp in the mid lane. So this will be a successful boss take from Lurk Patrol as they will look in order to potentially take this top keep now. Ace gets whipped away, not able to get the flip he wanted. His members of both teams just poking for now. The bruiser camp in the mid lane will be able to pick up that fort eventually if there's not a response from Lurk Patrol, as the members of Periloot just able to poke down half this boss already. So far, not a commitment coming out from the members of Lurk Patrol. As Water Elemental, though, is popped in order to finish off the boss before the boss is able to take the well. But not after this bruiser camp is able to take that mid fort. So even so far, a slight advantage now for structures on the side of Periloot. Now the members of Lurk Patrol trying to look and scout out the turn-in, but it might not be enough as Carthan able to finish off the gem requirement in order to get their, I believe, 3rd web weaver, or no, 2nd web weavers of this game. As now they're rotating to the bot lane. Looks like bot might be the lane they want to push, looking to get some damage on this bot keep. Or potentially they're just trying to clear it up, as it looks like they're going to rotate back mid now, as the members of Lurk Patrol playing very cautiously, just allowing for this bot web weaver in order to push up before they threaten it, as now they rotate into the mid lane, looking to contest the push coming out from Periloot. Water Elemental goes out looking to put some damage onto Gunny, who's able to successfully back up. Swill with the nice hammer, able to catch out Harnuk, forcing out a beat pretty early from Ektar. So we have a slight ult advantage in favor of Periloot in this fight if they decide to take it. Ice Block popped by Argo Booster. As Leap was also popped, I did not see, by Carthan. They are able to almost take the entire mid gate, but they back out before they're able to finish off the last tower. The mid lane going very low will be finished off, or excuse me, the top fort will be finished off by Periloot, as both teams approaching 17. Now it appears that Lurk Patrol is 5 away from their next turn-in as they take their bruiser camp, which gives some free push for Periloot in order to take this top gate for uncontested. Now here come the members of Lurk Patrol, though. Ace rotating up, a nice arrow ends up catching both tanks on the side of Lurk Patrol. The engage goes in onto Carthan as Ektar trying to dive deep. It looks like the Wheeling Arrow able to catch 2, but here comes the turnaround potentially from the members of Periloot. No, it's a full-on retreat now, as the members are going very low. Carthan barely able to get the shield out, but will still end up going down. The swap not able to connect from Harnuk, as now it's Swill and Argo Booster who have to be careful. Quest finished off from Gunny. That was level 1. High-Def trying to put some damage through, but it's not enough as the healing from the Ariel able to top off the members of Periloot. But that will allow for Lurk Patrol to be able to get their second turn of this game. Now Ace looking for the engage on the Argo Booster, or Toasty. Toasty in a lot of trouble now, will end up going down. But I don't believe that the members of Lurk Patrol will be able to get anything else off this. But this is a huge opportunity, as now they have two members up on Periloot for this Web Weaver phase. They're going to start by trying to push out top while they send Artanis in the bot lane in order to try to capture the bot for it as well, just trying to even out the structures advantage that Periloot has so far. Arrow does whiff from Gunny as Ace trying to zone out Argo Booster ends up getting rooted, but not really a threat to his health pool quite yet. Engage goes on to Argo Booster, but he ends up getting stunned. Ace ends up getting stunned. It will end up going down to the towers, as now it is Sonya of Carthen diving for the back line now that Ace is down, but not able to really find any real effect on the members of Lurk Patrol. So we'll be just back up in order to try to get the clear on the bot Web Weaver, and now the top Web Weaver as they successfully kill it off. So we'll go in very low to the damage from Gunny and High-Def as it forces out the Crystal Aegis onto Helio. Ektar though went really deep for the kill. Will he be able to finish it off? Ace with the souls comes back and gets the kill onto Helio. The beat gets dropped in order to save Ektar's life as the Fear ends up hitting 4 of them, but that will not save Sonya's life. Argo Booster trying to turn it around, but the nice swap ends up hitting Swill. Gul'dan now goes, but Toasty ends up going down as well. Now Argo Booster in a lot of trouble. This may spell the end of the game for Periloot as Argo Booster also goes down. It's just Swill against the entire team of Lurk Patrol as they start to work on the core. Members are relatively healthy as the swap onto Swift, as well as the boop from Ektar, able to get the kill and the win for map number 1 for Lurk Patrol. Great game by them in order to compound a couple kills and the Web Weaver, or the third Web Weaver phase, into a win. As we look now into the post-game stats from this last game, and we do see it is Toasty on the Gul'dan who was leading Periloot with the 52,000 damage. Meanwhile, Gunny on the Hanzo able to get 57k damage, as well as being the lead soaker on the side of Lurk Patrol. But overall, it was a very even game, with the big kill advantage on the side of Lurk Patrol really coming in the last minute, as they were able to get the full team wipe plus 2 other kills in order to compound their win. But a nice focus fire there, as well as Ace having his soul, so he's able to come back in order for the crucial last fight. It looks like Periloot will be choosing Battlefield of Eternity for game number 2. So I will set that up, and in the meanwhile, what surprised me was the fact that, I guess with the Jaina early game, Periloot was able to get that clear advantage and rotation advantage, and that was crucial in order to help Periloot take a slight advantage in the early game. However, some crucial plays by Ace in order to try to find out Toasty and Argo Booster ended up being the difference, as they're able to snowball the kill onto Sonya into victory. It just takes a couple picks to turn a very close game of HOTS, and that's all it was in this last game. teams starting to join the lobby now. But yeah, I think crucially, as we go to Battlefield of Eternity, which Periloot was able to get a win on in their last game against Piecemeal, it should be interesting to see how the team fights are now, as this will be more of a straight up team fighting map, which we didn't really have as much of last game, and it was more grindy fights. Maybe we'll see some faster fights this time around. It comes really down to the combos. We saw the one early combo in between Gunny and Harnock with the nice arrow, a stun into swap that was able to get a pick. If they're able to get more swaps like that, definitely look to see if Artanis is banned out this time, just because he is one of the leading bruisers being picked on this map at most levels, especially lower ones, where Artanis is beloved, even if he might not be the strongest pick. And it was very well played by Harnock in that last game. So, and then interesting to see if we might see Periloot ban out Gul'dan now that they won't have the first pick to try to steal it away from Lurk Patrol. Or if they will continue with their Kael'thas ban as their main mage ban. And I still expect to see a Nubrak banned out, potentially Diablo also banned out after a nice performance by Ace in that last game. And then just because Lurk Patrol played a lot of heroes that are mostly played on Battlefield of Eternity, maybe you see Hanzo banned out as well. Sorry, High Def, but Sylvanas isn't, like the biggest burner of on BOE, so might not necessarily, or I guess I should say sorry, because you might be able to play Sylvanas in this game. Meanwhile, on the other side, I might be looking to see potentially Jaina banned out. By Lurk Patrol, in order to prevent that burst damage from coming through. Looks like both teams are ready though, so we will be getting right into the draft. Now it's going to be first ban here from Lurk Patrol. Interesting to see if they stick with it. Instead, they're going to go with a Chromie ban to start it off. Yet another mage ban, as this is Div C. It is mandatory that you ban at least one mage every... Well, each team bans at least one mage. At least it seems like it. Should see if we see the response ban, or it will just be Diablo banned out. Interesting to see if a Nubrak might be able to make it through this time. Or if given an opportunity, if they decide to go Ace on a Nubrak, or they try to steal Gul'dan back on the side of Lurk Patrol if both are able to get through. Nope, instead they're just going to ban out a Nubrak to make sure that option is not available. Forcing Periloot's hand if they're going to chance it and try to get Gul'dan again, or if they're just going to ban it out. Now, something that could come into play if we look to last season is that Lurk Patrol did play Greymane last on Battlefield of Eternity, so potentially we do see Greymane as the pick. Instead, it's just going to be the first pick, Artanis. Harnock had some nice swaps last game. Figured if it's a good BOE, you don't want to pass up the chance to play Artanis on it. Or excuse me, it's not a good BOE. It's a good Artanis map. Don't want to pass it up. And so Hanzo will be stolen away by Periloot as well as Imperius to get their comfort solo lane pick in order to challenge Harnock in the solo lane. Response is going to be Vala Ana from the side of Lurk Patrol. I feel bad for Ektar as a support and especially Ana player. Ana, after the move speed changes, is so much harder. Because when you have such a finesse healer like Ana, just a small change like 10% makes aiming your healing darts that much harder, as well as your sleep darts. Li Ming now being banned out from the side of Periloot to deny that away from High Def. As now it should be interesting to see Lurk Patrol bans out. Ban out Johanna yet again. Don't want their main tank choice getting through on the side of Periloot. But definitely going to see a much different comp than Periloot played in their last match. It's going to be ETC now, coming in game at number 2, as well as Tyrande. Should be interesting to see if Swill's able to potentially catch some members out. And already, though, there's 3 interrupts that I can see. So likely we'll be going stage dive. Unless he's very confident with his mosh pit abilities. High Def going to be back on Sylvanas as well as Murden being picked up now on the side of Lurk Patrol with Ace picking it. So now it's just the last assassin pick. What's going to be interesting is the battle to burn, as there's a clear advantage now for Periloot having Raynor and Hanzo. As soon as Hanzo is able to get his stacks, could definitely make a huge difference in this game. And so it will be, the impetus will be on Lurk Patrol in order to engage in the Immortal phase and get the team fight in order to win the Immortal phase. So overall, I always prefer a comp that generally has better burn on this map, so I prefer the one of Periloot this time. Just because when you make the other team engage into you, it makes it to where things can go wrong on the side of Lurk Patrol. Although definitely look to Harnock to potentially get some swaps in these engages, or to see if they maybe just go for the burn with the Vala and the Artanis. But here we go in game number 2, looking for the match victory. It will be Lurk Patrol with High Def on the Sylvanas, Ace on the Murden, Ektar on the Ana, and Gunny on the Vala, as well as Harnock on the Artanis. Meanwhile, on the side of Periloot, it will be Carthan on the Imperius, Toasty on the Raynor, Helio on the Tyrande, Argo Booster on the Hanzo, and Swill on the ETC. So as is normal, both teams putting 4 in the bot lane, not trying to potentially cheese a tower a couple seconds into the game. It looks like pretty conventional picks for Battlefield of Eternity on both teams. Something to note is Ana still going the now nerfed grenade build. Though it shouldn't make too much of a difference, just with the area being reduced. I don't believe it is that much of a nerf, and it's definitely still the preferred build. Swill going in, able to get the slide onto High Def, who takes half of the health bar and damage, but she's able to get out successfully. But nearly an early pick on the side of Periloot, as now Toasty and Argo Booster will be going to town on the bot tower. Not able to quite get enough before their minions pass away. As now it's Ace, looking to just get some stacks onto Swill. Meanwhile, when we look in the top lane, Harnock already down to half. Nice damage being put on Carthan, not able to hit that swap either. But that will likely just remain a stalemate for the most part. As now we see the same being played out in the bot lane with, again, a little bit of a clear advantage on the side of Periloot, with Lurk Patrol just playing it safe, as they have plenty of clear to be able to quickly clear out the minions charging into their tower. Should be interesting to note when the teams do peel off for the Bruiser camp if they decide to before the first Immortal phase. As Gunny went aggressive in order to get some damage onto Helio, so Swill decides to slide in, but not able to quite get the damage to kill the Bala. Now something that is crucial is the stack so far. Argo Booster does have 6 stacks. It will be crucial if he's able to get up to that halfway point before the first Immortal phase. That's generally a good sign that you're stacking pretty well. And then other than that, no other real stacks to be keeping note of, other than potentially Ace, who already has 7 stacks, pretty good for only 2 minutes into the game. Now both teams just threatening the bot Impaler camp, but no team willing to commit to it, as it is a pretty good stalemate so far. So now we'll look, speaking of stalemates, oh, looks like Lurk Patrol going to go ahead back up and start on their Bruiser camp, as top lane remains pretty even so far, as Karthan just letting Harnock push in a little bit more, instead passively clear. As now it looks like Periloot going to start in on the bot Siege camp instead of go directly to their Bruiser camp, while Lurk Patrol picks up the Bruiser camp a little bit early, but in order to be able to respond to the pressure in the bot lane, as 4 of the 5 members, or all 5 members, do wait at this bot Immortal. They're going to look just to immediately burn because they know that Periloot's likely at their Bruiser camp as they were late to rotate to it. That will allow for them to get halftime for basically free. However, if 2 camps pushing the bot lane, this will force a response from Lurk Patrol, who takes his opportunity to go now clear out the Impaler camp, who is in the bot lane. Meanwhile, the members of Periloot being put on the defensive, as they now send Toasty and Argo Booster to start burning down the Lurk Patrol's Immortal. Here comes the rotation in though from Lurk Patrol. Swill on the guard, goes in a 2-man impale there from Karthan, able to catch out Harnock, who gets stunned yet again from the Immortal and from Swill, so he will end up going down to get a crucial pick for Periloot in their defense of their Immortal. So now Argo Booster will go back, but is very low in mana, so don't know how much he'll be able to do in trying to burn down the Immortal. Swill just trying to zone out Gunny, as Ace going in onto Helio, trying to find the opportunity but not able to do so. The slide in from Swill, looking to get the kill on Gunny. He does. Now Ace going very low. Can Ektar keep Ace up? No, will not. Barely with the last hit coming in from Helio. Toasty now trying to get the damage on the Harnock, but with that, it looks like the first Immortal phase will be going over to the members of Periloot, as they now peel off Toasty to help Argo Booster with finishing off that Immortal. Hidef and Ektar are trying to look through the top above the Immortal to see if they can try to get a little bit more damage onto Periloot's Immortal, but not able to do so. Looks like Harnock stunned yet again, but still allowing him to get away with it, as the Immortal is finished off by Periloot. We'll be going into the top lane, as it looks like the Bruiser camps didn't do too much damage, almost getting the gate in the bot lane and doing a ton of damage to the top lane's gate on the side of Periloot. So now it will be the 4-man offense versus the 4-man defense on both sides. Argo Booster just shredding that bot tower. Should be interesting to see if they will be able to get the fort in the top lane. Swill going in for the slide onto Ace, who's just able to easily hop over the wall. As now the Immortal only down to half health now. It looks like they will be able to save the fort, at least while the Immortal's still up, as Ace does get stunned by the Immortal. Might be in a little bit of trouble, as the slide from Swill able to confirm the kill, and so that will just allow for Periloot now to finish off the top fort. And now they're up just above half a level of XP. Members of Periloot now looking for the top Impaler camp, while Harnock in the bot lane trying to slowly yet surely take the bot Impaler camp for the side of Lurk Patrol, with the remaining members now rotating in. Should be interesting to see if Karthan does peek this camp or not. he will not be able to in time, as High Def will be able to get the finish off onto the siege camp. Now the members of Lurk Patrol, though, are rotating down. It should be interesting to see if they get they're looking for a pick, or if they're just looking to put some pressure and finish off this bot gate, or they're just going to decide to play it safe and finish off the Impaler camp in the bot lane. Meanwhile, it is Harnock who has to rotate up in order to deal with the top lane Impaler camp of Periloot. As now both teams just playing back as Periloot trying to get to 10 in order to get a huge advantage in this game early. But both teams just now sitting back trying to get the clear. As it is, Harnock kind of struggling a little bit against Carthen in lane. Ends up going pretty low from the Impalers and Carthen, but is able to easily just back up and tap. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the tower is completely down now for Periloot, but they're not able to quite get the engage they want in order to commit to going in before they get their ults, which will be coming up momentarily. Both teams, though, not peeling off to take their bruiser camp before ults, as it will be Mosh Pit from Swill. Rainer's Raider for Rainer. Oh, the rotation coming in for Carthen, who will end up going down, just wasn't able to back up fast enough. That will help Lurk Patrol, as they are only half a level away now from level 10, but Lurk Patrol, or excuse me, Periloot able to easily get halftime and now also look for their bruiser camp. Lurk Patrol just gonna take this opportunity to burn down the Mortal as much as they can, as they know they can't afford to take a team fight right now while they're down the ultimates. So it will only be, though, 8,000 shield on the Immortal. And Lurk Patrol weren't quite able to start the bruiser camp before the Immortal died, as the bruiser camp is picked up by Periloot to assist with their push in the bot lane. Looks like it will be all members, though, with the defensive Harnock not quite rotating up yet, as now ults coming in on the side of Lurk Patrol. Looks like it's going to be Rain of Vengeance for Vala, Nano Boost for Ana, Avatar for Murden, Wailing Arrow. Here comes the arrow. Speaking of arrow, here comes the arrow from Argo Booster, along with the knockback from the Immortal, able to get the kill on Tartanus. So now it is Periloot looking for the offensive. Wow, Lurk Patrol forced to back up as they finish off the fort in the bot lane. It should be interesting to see how much more they will be able to get in this bot lane on the side of Periloot, as they do get at least a tower down, but with the Lurk Patrol able to just burn down the Immortal from behind their gate, looks like they'll only be able to get the gate and not much more unless Periloot able to get yet another pick. Here comes the slide in from Swill, not looking quite yet for the Mosh Pit, though. So that will be the call for Periloot to retreat. He's taking a lot of poke damage as he tried to step up for a potential engage or punish. The bush will be able to find out Ace. Nice slide. Avatar will not be able to save him, as now Toasty did pop Rainer's Raider, but not that much of an issue, as this will allow for Periloot to steal Lurk Patrol's bruiser camp here, and also put a ton of pressure into this top lane. They will decide to push with it as they do pick up their level 13. As both teams have, or actually a huge ult advantage for Periloot if they decide to get the engage. Are not looking for the swap, as Ace comes back into the fray. But Periloot deciding to play it pretty safely and just back up. Not looking for an engage quite yet. Swill is back here, maybe looking for a Mosh Pit if he's able to get a huge one, or just trying to get some vision onto Lurk Patrol, as Periloot does take this top siege camp. Both teams now getting ready to posture for the next Immortal phase. This one will be a crucial turning point. Lurk Patrol down 13, but if they're able to somehow burn the Immortal fast enough, this could be a huge turning point for them in their comeback. Meanwhile, for Periloot with 2 forts down already, they could push with this Immortal potentially for the win. Burn already on for Lurk Patrol, as they will be able to win halftime, as Lurk Patrol, or excuse me, Periloot was in that bot lane getting that siege camp. So it will be Periloot who will be on the offensive, looking for the team fight in their in the defense of their Immortal. Swill looking to get some poke onto Ace, who just easily leaps out of the fight. Toasty looking for a little bit of a chase on the Ace. Not looking quite yet, so Lurk Patrol just going to take this opportunity to try to clear out the siege camp with Swill. Just trying to create some space in the bot lane. As again, focus on trying to poke Ace. A Hanzo arrow from nowhere comes down and catches 2 members as well as the mosh pit, as it does end up being Gunny who goes down on the side with mosh pit being interrupted. But that might be all Periloot needed in order to start burning down this Immortal, especially with the siege camp in the top lane. Already getting this top keep down to half and will force a response from Harnock. So any fight will be a 5v3. So 4 members of Periloot do peel back in order to start the burn. They will be successful. But in this bot lane, will Swill do anything in order to stop? Members of Lurk Patrol decided not to. As Lurk Patrol, though, is about to pick up 13, so it will be an even fight in this defense. But just one pick might be all Periloot needs in order for them to lock up this game number 2 and even back up the series. Swill looking very aggressive. There is an ult advantage for the members of Lurk Patrol in this fight, with Mosh Pit still being down. As Harnock gets zoned out there by Swill. Nice knockback. But the Sleep Dart able to save Harnock. Hanzo arrow goes in. Not quite able to get the kills on the Ace or Harnock, who went very low. Gunny going very aggressive once the nano boost being put onto him, but not able to quite find the target he wants. Now the Immortal going on to the core, but Periloot decides not to push it quite yet. They don't think this is the time to go for core. Instead, they're going to rotate up in order to try to finish off this top keep as well. They are about to get 16, so it will be. They should just wait, back up right now, wait, and then re-engage with 16. Toasty just trying to poke down that keep, but Harnock gets the swap in onto Cornthin, who pops the ult, and immediately the shield gets deleted. Carthen will end up going down there. A 2-man mosh pit, not able to get interrupted, as Gunny going very low will end up going down. Now Swill has to be very careful. Ace looking to finish off Swill, not able to quite find the damage. Now Harnock will be able to, but will go down himself. Ace on the chase will be able to find Toasty. Now it's Argo Booster who will go down to high death. And so it's a 4 for 2 trade in favor of Lurk Patrol. They'll be able to look for this top 4 in order to try to start evening up this game. They are only 1 level behind. It will be close to getting 16 soon and really evening the level gap, which will be huge for them as they finish off this top tower, or excuse me, gate. Now High Def looking for the siege camp, while Ektar and Ace just trying to clear out the wave. However, unfortunately, Gunny was forced to stay back in the bot lane in order to clear out the catapults that were gathering there. The members of Periloot scout out this top siege camp, but it is too late for them to potentially get the defense, or I guess it would be an invade. So now Lurk Patrol will back up with their 16s and get their bruiser camp. Time it pretty well with the next objective. Toasty and Argo Booster will also be picking up their bruiser camp, so we'll be even going into this Immortal fight. This one team will have to be aggressive here, as it is defensive positioning of the Immortals in this opening phase. Both teams, though, just trying to sit back and force the other team to come to them. Now it looks like it will be Periloot who will oblige. Argo Booster just trying to poke out damage. Ace finishes off Hammer Quest. As now it will just be Toasty who will be going to the top lane and get the free clear onto the Shaman camp to make sure it doesn't burn down their top fort. This does just benefit Periloot just sitting back for now, as eventually Lurk Patrol will have to visibly back up quite a bit in order to clear that bot lane. But Carthen maybe looking for an engage, not quite yet. Now it's Ace who gets the engage, gets the nice 3-man stun, as it is Carthen and Swill going very low. Swill able to slide out, has 500 health, will be able to succeed in surviving, but Carthen will not be as lucky. Harnock barely does not have the range on the swap, but now there's the light for Lurk Patrol, looking in order to try to burst down this Immortal and get halftime, but they will be forced to move a member back to try to defend in the spot lane. It will be Gunny. So this will be a 4v4 fight over the next Immortal phase. If Periloot does play this right. Damage trying to go out onto Ace in order to just poke him down, but Ektar has the heals. But that will force for the members of Lurk Patrol to come back just momentarily as they wait for Gunny to come back. Gunny is here though, so here comes the 5v4 fight. Swill comes in. Oh, a nice interrupt though from the Rain of Vengeance prevents the animation from coming out from the mosh pit. So now it's Ace going in. We'll be able to get the finish off from High Def's damage onto the Immortal. So this will be a huge shielded Immortal in favor of Lurk Patrol as they pick up their first Immortal and look to pick up their first 4 and potentially keep up the game. Ace very aggressively positioned and out. He might be caught here and will end up going down as the remaining members were sent back to clear. So a nice pick there from Periloot will be able to allow for them to get the free clear onto this Immortal. Immortal will still be able to get the gate, but not much more in this bot lane. So the game will remain still slightly in favor of Periloot, but pretty much even in terms of experience. Lurk Patrol, excuse me, Lurk Patrol will be able to use High Def's, I don't want to say ability, but trait in order to finish off the top 4, in order to get some value out of the Immortal phase, but the rotation out from Periloot will allow for them to get this top siege camp. So now, it should be interesting to see what these teams decide to do, as Periloot just 1 level away from getting 20. Meanwhile, Lurk Patrol on the defensive here as they try to defend their extremely low keep, with High Def being sent into the bot lane in order to try to pick up that Impaler camp. So this is a 5v4 advantage for Periloot. Swill just able to easily finish off. Harnock was interrupted on his charge as a 3-man mosh pit ends up coming out from Swill, but they can't find the kill. Instead, Swill will be the one who ends up going down. Ace pops Avatar, but will be blown up. So it is a 1-for-1 trade right now. A nice impale there from Karna found the Gunny, but not able to find the damage. Harnock going very low. We'll have to back up, but will not go down. So it is just a 1-for-1 trade. Lurk Patrol will be able to survive through this with both main takes being traded out. 20 will now be picked up for Periloot. And so a whole level will need to be made up here. The Bruiser camp is stolen from Periloot, but I think Lurk Patrol is just going to have to take a 19v20 fight. They decide to try to clear out this Bruiser camp early, as they have the time. They don't need to rush halftime. They look to try to potentially fight right as Murden is coming back. So they try to get as much clear as they can before Periloot eventually wins this halftime. But now here it comes, the crucial, potentially last fight, 19v20. How will Lurk Patrol play this? They're instead going to try to clear out the bot lane. Toasty and Carnathan going to start the burn, but both teams playing pretty defensively. Here comes Ace, though, and Swill coming back at the same time. Is Periloot actually going to play defensively, allowing for Lurk Patrol to potentially be able to soak 20 right now? Or at least wait until the passive XP gets them to 20 without an engage here from Periloot. Now Periloot going a little bit more on the offensive as Argo Booster just trying to poke down the Immortal. As Lurk Patrol just so close to getting 20. Which is exactly what they're waiting for. Ace found out position yet again. Able to pop Avatar and live though as the damage goes out onto Swill. The shield's coming out there. But now the turn trying to go on to Gunny. Swill goes very low. 300 health, will be able to survive. Carnthan also very low. Can they get the kill onto him? Will not be able to quite yet. Toasty in a bad position, but will be able to escape now as 20's now being able to be picked up from Lurk Patrol. Harnock actually trying to back right now with how low he is. But the members of Periloot are also very low. Toasty ends up getting stunned by the Immortal. Will they be able to capitalize this on the side of Lurk Patrol? Does not look like it, as it will be Gunny who ends up going down. Swill with the aggressive slide, able to find two, but was so low, was just able to easily be picked off there from high def and finished off. Argo Booster going in, but the dart able to slow him down and reduce his damage from Ektar, but that will allow for the remaining members of Periloot to just be able to finish off this Immortal and win this Immortal phase. Ace looking to potentially get an engage to catch out Helio, but Helio able to successfully back up. But now the question is, can Lurk Patrol defend against this 21 minute Immortal? They're going to have to be aggressive and look for a pick, with Ace already being in that bush as they try to burst down the shields while the Immortal is walking towards their core. Ace yet again very aggressively positioned, able to get the stun onto one, but just taking a ton of damage from Argo Booster and Toasty. Forced to pop his trait in order to heal up. In comes the arrow. That nice dodge there from High Def and Ektar, able to make sure it didn't provide the opening that Periloot were looking for, as this Immortal is almost already dead. So huge defense potentially, but it looks like High Def will be picked off there from the members of Periloot. But now here we go, the engage actually coming out from Lurk Patrol as they look to chase, but they end up going very low. Carthen looking for the finish off onto Harduck, will be able to find it now. Ace very low, trying to desperately be healed up from Ektar, will be able to back up for now, but it is a 2-for-0 trade in favor of Periloot. Will they be able to get the core finish off, or will Gunny be able to finish off Argo Booster and Carthen? They're playing it very safe as they do have 30-second advantage until High Def comes back up. Carthen gets the stab onto Ace as well as the slide, but they're not able to quite find the damage to finish Ace off, as Ace looking to get the kill onto Helio, but not able to get the damage himself, as he will end up going down. Now it's just Gunny and Ektar as the core ends up getting burned by the members of Periloot. Swill going very low, will end up going down, but I don't think it will matter, as Periloot will win game number 2 and even up this series. So fantastic game there, as Periloot was ahead for most of that game. Almost saw a comeback there from Lurk Patrol as they were able to get the third Immortal. But a crucial pick there onto Ace was able to help stabilize for Periloot and eventually turn the game back around in their favor. As we look to the post-game stats now, we do see Argo Booster with the Hanzo able to lead the team with 80k damage. Meanwhile, it was Gunny on that Vala, having the greatest DPS output in the game, able to get 65k damage in the losing effort. As now the series is tied up 1 each, and we will be going to game number 3. Very exciting. Should be interesting to see if Lurk Patrol decides to go with the map pick or the first pick. I expect map pick, as that's what they chose in game number 1, but you never know. Definitely, though, going to be a close game 3 if the first 2 games were any indication. Game number 1 was very much a back and forth game. Meanwhile, game number 2, as they will actually pick first pick, and so we will be going to Cursed Hollow, chosen by Periloot. There have been a couple contested heroes, so I can't understand why they go for the first pick. But, of course, the small sample size of this match shows that whoever picks the map gets the victory, so we'll see if that trend does continue. really there wasn't really a single player that caught my eye in that last match, except for potentially, because as it was more just kind of coordinated getting some picks that were able to give Periloot the leg up in that match. Though I will note Swill had some nice, was able to kind of set up some of those picks in that match. But with it being Cursed Hollow, kind of interesting that we've been ramping up how large the maps are, as now we'll test how good the team's macro games are after more of a micro test in that last game. Interesting, looks like we'll see a new member coming in for Periloot. Never mind, it looks like it was just someone joining randomly, as Healy will be back in the lobby. As the teams do ready up now. Just wait for Lurk Patrol to be ready. Looks like it was just a quick break here in between games. But in draft, definitely will likely see a new Brack band out. Potentially Diablo as well. So it should be interesting to see if Murden yet again gets picked up by either team. And then Gul'dan might be, I shouldn't say might be, is very likely to be picked up or banned by either team. That might be why Lurk Patrol looked to get the first pick, to make sure that they could look for that Gul'dan pick. Should be the solo lane matchup will also be very interesting. Just because in game one, it was one out there by Harnock, and then in game number 2, it looked like Carthen had the upper hand there when he was able to get Imperious. So it should be interesting to see if we do have Imperious maybe potentially picked up early yet again in order to get the win for Carthen. Because it's clear that he or she is definitely comfortable on Imperious. Meanwhile, Hidef will likely be looking to pick up Sylvanas yet again. Just with the damage output has been a nice complement to whichever hero Gunny has picked so far in this match. And I think overall will come down to the big main tank matchup. Whether Ace or Swill will be able to catch out some picks or get some solid engages that will help get their team's advantages in the team fights. Because with how closely closely matched these two teams have been, it just takes a small advantage to make the difference overall. As we now go into the draft, I believe it's been Lurk Patrol that's been banning... No? Both teams were traded banning a Nubrak. I can't remember what their first ban has been both times, though. But they've definitely been consistent, so likely we'll see that yet again. No, instead they are going to just ban out the Imperius to help out Hardknock in that solo lane. Meanwhile, Kill immediately being banned out by Periloot yet again. A Nubrak also being banned out from Lurk Patrol. Interesting to see if we maybe see the Diablo being banned out yet again. Or potentially Gul'dan. No, it will be Diablo being denied yet again away from Ace. So what will the first pick be on the side of Lurk Patrol? Although it does mean that Gul'dan's 100% popularity is kind of ruined by this match. It will be ETC being first picked by Ace, looking to steal it away from Swill after last game's performance. Meanwhile, Argo Booster again gonna be on that Hanzo. Maybe not necessarily on scatter build, but should be interesting to see. You definitely can with the narrow quarters that Crystal has in the rotations in between lanes. And then Tyrande, yet again for Helio. Be looking to make sure that able to keep up the main, or not the main tanks, both of the tanks up throughout this game. We'll be back to Lurk Patrol. I expect to see the support and likely one of their assassins being picked up, or potentially see Hardknock picking up Artanis if that's what he wants right now. Instead, it's going to be High Def on the Blaze and Gunny on the Orphea. So swapping it up here in game number 2. High Def, who in the past has been the Sylvanas player in games 1 and 2, now going over to Blaze to off lane. Potentially. The thing is with ETC Blaze, you don't know which one is in the off lane, as both definitely viable in the off lane, especially if you're scared of the interrupts coming in for Ace, in which if you want to take stage dive, it's definitely an option to just go into the solo lane from the start. Johanna being banned yet again from Lurk Patrol. Meanwhile, Periloot denying away Stukov this time. So now we'll be down to the members of Periloot. Likely going to see the main tank picked up, I would predict, as well as Toasty picking up the Junkrat. Showing that they are going to be more of a poke-heavy team yet again, as it is Muradin for Swill being played back in game number 1. Back on it for game number 3. So now it's Hardknock and Ektar looking for the support, and whatever Hardknock is going to play, we might be seeing potentially a pocket pick that the solo laner plays that kind of made High Def pick Blaze. Or maybe... No, it is just going to be a triple tank setup here. Protect Mr. President with Orphea being the president this time. And then Lucio coming in for the fast rotates on Cursed Hollow, as well as just the healing that Lucio provides. Now Carthan with the decision of what to put in the solo lane this time around. Kind of wish you had maybe your Tychus slot here, but instead it's just going to be Carthan back on the Sonya with Imperius shut down. And so overall, one thing to note is that Orphea is, again, a skill shot dependent hero, so with the movement speed changes, a little bit harder to get those Qs, so you gotta really be a lot more careful positionally. However, I think I kind of prefer the team comp here of Lurk Patrol, just because the poking of Hanzo plus Junkrat is going to be hard to really get down the heroes, especially if we see a hard engage in team fights by Lurk Patrol just sending all the tanks into the back line. especially with Lucio and Orphea, who definitely can go deep into the backline with a dive with your main tanks. It might be hard for Argo Booster and Toasty to try to continue to back up while getting the damage onto the beefy front 3-man front line of Lurk Patrol. But here we go, the deciding game number 3 on to Cursed Hollow. It will be Lurk Patrol with Harnock on the Leoric, Gunny on the Orphea, Ace on the ETC, High Def on the Blaze, and Ektar on the Lucio. Meanwhile, for Periloot, it will be Carthan on the Sonya, Argo Booster on the Hanzo, Helio on the Tyrande, Toasty on the Junkrat, and Swill on Muradin. Already Sonya breaking off into the bot lane just to start. Well, all 5 members coming down the middle lane for Lurk Patrol, which immediately will get scouted out with the Owl from Helio. Toasty just spreading around the grenades, trying to get as much poke damage as he can. As we look, it actually will be the scatter build coming back out from Hanzo, which will especially be powerful once he's able to shred that armor of the frontliners. Ace being grenaded into the territory of Periloot, but just able to easily slide away. But now the members will be forced to rotate out, as it will be Blaze going into the bot lane and Leoric going into the top lane. Uncontested for now until Hanzo finishes the rotate up. Leo scouts out Gunny in the bush, as it will be 3 members putting an advantage in this top lane, forcing for Ektar to rotate back into the mid lane. But for now, it is just going to be a pretty much a stalemate for this entire laning phase, with both one team being too beefy to really try to burst down, while the other team not having the damage to burst down the beefy members. Meanwhile, Argo Booster in this slow lane is going to find it hard to necessarily get those scatter stacks against Leoric. While it looks like 2 members from Lurk Patrol peel off, with Gunny and Ektar taking the siege camp pretty early on. Hanzo not able to peel away from his camp in order to start moving on to Periloot's own siege camp. So we'll put some pressure into this bot lane. Now the question is, what will Lurk Patrol do with it? Looks like both teams are going to go back to the status quo though, with 3 members in the mid lane for now, as the siege camp waddles its way into the lane. Harnock is already down to half health though, something to note, but Argo Booster used all of his mana in order to get to that point, so Toasty will be rotating into the top lane, looking potentially for the pick, or just to allow for Argo Booster back up onto their own siege camp. Swill now rotating down, looking to potentially either for the pick, or just to help Korthan with the clear of the siege camp in the bot lane. And so that will allow for them to quickly clear this camp. Meanwhile, Toasty and Ektar Ektar and Gunny taking this opportunity to take the Bruiser camp before the first tribute does spawn, giving them a huge advantage in this mid lane. Meanwhile, Argo Booster taking the siege camp will be a little late getting to the tribute as he finishes up this top lane siege camp. But how will Lurk Patrol play this objective? It looks like for now they're just trying to stay and push as much as they can with this camp. With them only positioning Blaze in the bot lane, they're looking to catch out Swill, who's able to leap out successfully, as now it is just Carthan versus High Def on this tribute, which will be stalled out. But now here come the remaining members of Lurk Patrol. Can they catch out Carthan here? Nice slide in from Ace along with the pushback, but Carthan going very low will end up going down. Now it's Swill going in onto High Def, but can't quite find the damage, as now Ektar heavy on the chase along with Gunny, able to consistently hit those Qs in order to do the damage. A lot of poke though coming through, so Lurk Patrol hasn't been able to quite yet get the cap onto this tribute. Forces out the double cap, with Harnock successfully able to finish off the first tribute being taken here by Lurk Patrol. Now Toasty was able to rotate into this mid lane in order to make sure that the camp didn't do too much, only able to take down the tower almost, as now we see 3 members versus of Lurk Patrol versus the 4 members of Periloot for now in this bot lane now brawling. Both teams just poking for now, giving an XP advantage soak-wise to Lurk Patrol, but Harnock being harassed by Toasty will send Ace up to maybe look for a pick, but I don't think they have the damage in order to really scare Toasty too much. So Toasty will just lob the grenades from afar for now, with the tribute spawning in the bot lane. Here we go. They go on to Toasty, but again, not enough damage. And so the members of both teams will start rotating down on this tribute. But this will be an 4v3 advantage for Periloot while the 2 tanks rotate from the top lane. So Swill's going to get aggressive, take the vision, and maybe try to find out the members. They find them on the siege camp. Swill looking to take the fight on Lurk Patrol's siege camp now as he camps his on that camp. Ektar trying to boop him off it, but not able to find it as the damage is going out onto Ektar. And so it looks like Lurk Patrol will just give up the siege camp as well as the camp from Harnock going through. But Carthen and Helio going very low. Toronto will end up getting picked. Harnock was able to sneak the take there, as well as get 3 members for nothing on the side of Lurk Patrol. So they will. Should be interesting to see what they do with this advantage. They're just going to look to do some siege damage in the bot lane. Trying to catch out Argo Booster, able to barely leap behind the wall before it becomes too devastating. But it's just Ace back here trying to clear the siege camp, which has already taken down the tower and is just uncontested, sieging down the spot lane. Instead, it looks like the members of Lurk Patrol are just going to rotate up and get ready for this next tribute, as this will be their curse tribute. Will they look for the boss? No, they are just going to rotate right past it. As it looks like Periloot members are going to be trying to take their siege camp, while that bot siege camp still does a lot of damage. So here we go. Ult's now coming online for Lurk Patrol. That's what they wanted. As here comes the stage dive, interrupts the cap from Helios. As the combustion comes in, can it find anyone? No, not able to find the damage. Helio going very low, but they're not able to connect the Harnock's ult. So that will just be Periloot backing up for now. Will they look for a re-engage? Is Toasty just trying to get the interrupt? And will be able to successfully get away with his grenade for now. However, it is Argo Booster in trouble. Will end up going down to Ektar, and that will be them getting the successful cap. Swill trying to go after Harnock, but kind of chancy with the rest of the members of Lurk Patrol right there. And now with the curse, it's not like they have to be aware of that gate damage. Looks like it will be 4 members in the top lane here for Lurk Patrol, so they look to take down this top 4. The slide going in on Swill, as he's forced to pop Avatar here and retreat the opposite way. Trying to just get his jump back online, will be able to. The problem with this triple tank off though is it just has no siege damage, as Ektar forced to back up. As Orphea doesn't really have the most amount of siege damage, especially for an assassin, and that's your main sieger. Potentially Blaze might have more siege damage, honestly. But still, with curse, of course, affecting all 3 lanes, that just causes Periloot to have to spread out. So a little bit of siege damage done in every single lane. Looks like they get 3 towers, or 3 gates, excuse me, but nothing more. Well below the 2 forts you generally look to get with a curse. Now Ace in a little bit of trouble, but Toasty not able to connect the grenade. So Ace will just go back to laning now in the mid lane. Well, the members of Lurk Patrol just spread out for now. Big rotation down from Periloot. Are they going to look for the boss? Carthen is starting it. So it looks like the boss rotation. Very risky going out here. Immediately spotted out from Lurk Patrol. But it is going to be a late rotation from Blaze. Periloot just going to back up though and not risk it. Don't know why they really went for that boss call. It's not like they really had an advantage. Not like they even baited the boss, they just straight up went for it. But they will be able to successfully cap their bruiser camp. Ace though forced to kind of continue to scout out and make sure no shenanigans going on Periloot's side, as they just continue to threaten Boss, looking potentially for the gank. Harnock and Ace will take it and rotate in, but immediately see Boss not really being taken. But they engage coming in from Carthen with the ult being popped with the Rage. Oh, looks like Ace uses the ult, but not able to find anyone. High Def being the target of the damage coming out. A nice Entomb able to catch two, but the Tire able to finish off Leoric. Sonya will end up going down for the trade so far. High Def and Ace have to be very careful, already being very low. So it will just be a 1-for-1 trade, not favoring either side. Well, slightly favoring Lurk Patrol, as it was just Harnock who went down, so we'll be able to quickly come back up on that Leoric and soak in this bottom lane. Bruiser Camp able to get a little bit of damage here in the mid lane. Once dealt with, though, Gunny and High Def will look to capture their own Bruiser Camp here, as they do pick up 13 now. And it's Toasty and Carthen now taking their Siege Camp before this next tribute. Both teams have 0, so not really essential that either team go for it. Ace aggressively rotating into this mid lane just to get the soak, but Swill also looking to potentially get the pick onto Ace. The double stun able to connect on Ace, but not really enough damage, enough to scare Ace too much and punish Ace on that ETC. Lurk Patrol rotates first onto their tribute, which is positionally in their favor, as Argo Booster doesn't quite have the range on his wall or scatter arrow, so will just be a free tribute on the side of Lurk Patrol. Periloot just going to rotate up in order to clear this mid Bruiser camp. Meanwhile, it will be Harnock rotating up into top lane to deal with that siege camp, which might be able to actually just straight up take this fort in the top lane. Now it looks like he will be able to get here in time to stop the pressure from getting that full fort. Toasty now rotating up to see if he can finish off this fort with his grenades and just putting a ton of pressure onto Harnock. The siege camp will be able to pick up that top fort. Meanwhile, the rotation is coming up from the remaining members of Periloot. Just checking Boss, but the siege camp is taken by Lurk Patrol, alerting Periloot to their position. Now the next trip in the spot lane. Again, not essential for either team to really force it through as well. In the bush, just going to connect with two members with the hammer. But overall, it's been just a very defensive back and forth game so far. Ace now going aggressive with the slide, looking to catch out Argo Booster, who is barely able to get the heals from Helio in time to make sure he does not go down. Now here comes the re-engage there onto Ace, who catches a lot of damage there from Swill and Helio, but Sonya will be the one who ends up going down. Now the members of Lurk Patrol are pretty low, so Toasty going to be able to poke away along with Argo Booster here. It's going to be very challenging for Lurk Patrol to be able to pick up this tribute here with the amount of poke they have. Swill, though, ends up getting caught out there, gets stunned up, able to leap away, but will he be able to escape? 300 health. Ektar going very aggressive. The boop not able to connect. Oh, a nice grenade there from Toasty. Catches Ektar out of position, but they're not able to capitalize on it and get the kill. As now it's Toasty who's trying to poke. A nice stun there from Helio, ends up getting one, but they're not able to really get the engage while they're still down. Sonya, who just now respawned, is trying to come back. High Def messes the stun onto Argo Booster, I believe, or Helio. But as both teams want to engage, but not finding the engage they want, so they're just going to retreat with Harnock now going into the top lane, looking to try to relieve some pressure from the minions. Will be Periloot yet again, looking for the Bruiser camp. No, they will start on the boss, as they do scout it out, but Lurk Patrol immediately going to start rotating back. Swill sees this. Toasty ends up taking a ton of damage from Boss. High Def, will she be able to get the rotation on Toasty? Not quite able to connect with the stun from the charge. And so both teams just going to back up again and look to poke each other down. 16 now coming in for Lurk Patrol. Will they be able to win this tribute and get yet another curse? The problem is that they've been able to win all the team fights. They're up in kills 7-1, but they haven't been able to get the siege damage to really capitalize on the tribute, on the curse. Again, It looks like aggressive slide him from Ace looking to get Swill, but they don't have the damage to get Swill down. It will have to be Helio, Toasty, or Argo Booster they look to get down. Speaking of which, Ace looking to catch Argo Booster out, but able to successfully back up. Now it's High Def getting the stun onto Karthen, but they're not able to get the damage through. Swill will be forced to leap in there in order to get the interrupt onto Gunny. The slide goes through onto Ace. The Hanzo arrow catches 3 along, but a ton of damage there from Gunny from the Ace. A nice Entomb there ends up catching Helios, as now it's a 3-for-0 trade in favor of Lurk Patrol. Up 5 members to 2. This could be a huge curse for them, especially with top 4 already having its gate down. They're going to take this opportunity to take boss before they take the curse. Argo Booster going to force the issue here, but Ektar is here to scout it out and make sure that they don't get the cap and try to sneak it. In fact, it's Ektar who is hungry on that Lucio. Able to get a ton of damage onto Argo Booster. Will he be able to get the kill? Not quite able to connect. 1 auto attack away with 40 damage left, but Argo Booster able to barely escape from the hungry Lucio with his life. And this bot lane Toasty is able to put a good amount of siege damage through onto that bot fort by himself, but the boss and the curse is now picked up from Lurk Patrol. They're going to be looking to go in this top lane, get the keep, potentially if they're able to get the picks, get the end of the game. So as now the members of Periloot looking to position for the defense, they do have to wait for for Toasty to come back here, and they'll have to fight without Sonya, who's clearing in the mid lane, trying to save that fort. But now Sonya will be coming back. The Riptire is popped here, just trying to get some clear onto the boss, as well as do some poke to Harnock and High Def. A nice 3-man stun there, along with the Hanzo follow-up. Can they get the kill? A huge beat chop there, able to save the tanky members, as now here comes the re-engage from Lurk Patrol. They end up not catching anyone quite, but Karthen will still end up going down. Ace and Harnock both very low. Will Ektar be able to save the day yet again? He will be able to speed them out, but not able to get the heals. The Scatter Arrow almost ends up catching Ace, but the Periloot's focus has to be on this boss. Now the members of Lurk Patrol healed up a little bit from their Lucio. Harnock already very low. Here comes the stage dive aggressively by Ace, not able to catch anyone. But Toasty and Argo Booster looking to try to get the poke. High Def ends up going very low, ends up being slowed there from Argo Booster, I believe, as the boss able to get the confirm onto the keep. But the members of Lurk Patrol able to easily just disengage there with their job done and the keep received. They were also able to get the forts in the mid and bot lane, so a huge curse phase to make up for the last one on the side of Lurk Patrol and get them a huge advantage. Toasty scouting out their boss, not finding any members though, as Swill just being very careful. They're gonna go for boss yet again, and yet again Lurk Patrol immediately gonna be rotating towards it, but they are able to burn boss halfway down already. This might be the fight on that determines it all. As now Ace slides in, looking to catch out Arc Booster, not able to find it. The focus goes on to Swill, who's able to leap out. Hanzo area ends up catching 3. Here comes the Riptire. Can they find out Ace? But a nice beat there from Ektar, able to tank the damage. Boss does end up getting tethered for now, as High Def went in deep looking for Swill, but will be able to back up successfully before taking too much damage. And so both teams will just back up without any real damage being done. 5v5 still, as it is Lurk Patrol looking for 20. As they will now try to soak this bot lane. Meanwhile, Periloot looking to pick up their Bruiser camp, as well as Toasty rotating up in order to get this cleared the top lane before it goes down to core. Oh, a nice Entomb there, catches out Swill. And so that will be the advantage that Lurk Patrol was looking for, as now the boss ping does come out here before they get 20, so this might present an opportunity for Periloot to potentially steal. They do see it. Oh, it looks like Ektar is stunned. Half his health is done by boss, making him very vulnerable to whatever damage comes out here from Periloot. Here comes the engage from Karthen, looking to go onto Ace, but the turnaround immediately from Lurk Patrol, looking to catch out Karthen, who ends up going down. This charge just not having enough range from High Def to catch the members, but with how much damage Periloot was able to do with the poke, and now they're looking to actually finish off the boss. I don't know if Lurk Patrol can go in. A nice scatter arrow actually catches Orphea. So they don't know with the damage loss from Lurk Patrol. This is going to be Periloot picking up this boss and also the tribute. This might be the turnaround point that Periloot was looking for, as 20's just now picked up by Lurk Patrol. You have to think, what if they were able to just wait for those 20's to go in? Sure, they wouldn't have fought 5v4, but still, that's such a huge advantage. that now they're down their Orpheon forced onto the back foot. As now the bot fort being picked up here by Periloot with their second structure being picked up. Siege damage picked up to try to help with the defense, but easily going to be killed by Carthen and Toasty. As now they're going to be looking for the keep that's just unprotected right now from Lurk Patrol. They're too busy trying to pick up their bruiser count. And so they're going to be late to rotate into trying to help defend their keep. And thus, our Periloot's going to take that. They know they're still down 20. They have to get a nice engage here if they want to go in. Hidef, though, going very low. And so the Hanzo area ends up catching 3. Can they get the finish off onto Hidef? The tire will confirm that. A nice 3-man knock up there from the boss. Able to do a ton of damage to Ektar, but not able to quite get the finish off. Ektar did have a nice beat, but not able to save the life of their Blaze. Now Carthen taking a lot of damage. In comes Ace with the stage dive. Can they get the kill on Carthen? The knock up, though, from boss, and that's the game! They were able to get the damage through from Periloot in order to finish off the core. Boss was ignored, just doing a ton of damage along with the remaining members. And so that will be game number 2 in the series, going over to Periloot. Fantastic series and comeback in game number 3 in order to turn that game around as we look to the stats now. The damage dealer, of course, Mr. President being gunny with that 70k damage. Meanwhile, Argo Booster just able to shred the armor and the health pools with 80k damage himself. But overall, a great comeback not only in this game but in the series as Periloot turns a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 series victory. Something interesting to note too, 12-3 in the kills department. Yet still able to come back with the victory, showing it's not how many kills you get, but when you get them. Now we'll look to see if we can get Argo Booster or any of the other members. Let's see if we can get either him or another member of the team, multiple members of the team, in order to get the interview going in this very exciting series. As Murda did raid just 20 minutes ago, perfect time in order to see the end of that very exciting series in game number 3. You could argue it came right when the turnaround came through from Periloot in order to get the successful series victory. As it will end up being Toasty, the assassin player who it looks like who will be coming in for our interview in order to talk about the series at hand. Hello, Toasty.
Hello. I'm interviewing Periloot. That is I.
Congratulations on your comeback in that match.
Oh man. Yeah, thanks.
So, I guess starting off in game number 1, which did not go your way, but on Tomb of the Spider Queen seems so long ago, hour and a half, but very much an even back and forth game. What do you?
Yeah, we're not terribly unhappy with that, but the picks, we think they had a better walk at us fight comp, and we were a little bit squishy. With the double mage, we had Gul'dan Jaina, which was a little weird for us, and our Jaina player wasn't so super ready to play Jaina at that moment, but that's what we tried.
Well, one thing I will compliment you on in the first game that gave you an edge, at least in the early game, was your rotations in between top and mid. What do you think was the key to kind of putting Lurk Patrol on the back foot early on in that game?
Yeah, we noticed we had really great rotates, and pretty proud of us for actually doing that well. So we gained a little bit of an advantage, but I don't think we did quite enough with it. And they also got a lot of turn-ins that we like they got the first turn in, and then they got another turn in right after it, and I was like, how are they getting all these gems in? And when we're the ones pushing so well, but I guess when you push all the waves into them, it makes it easy for them to pick up the gems, not you. So
Yeah, and then one thing that was highly contested in that first game were just the mercenary camps, especially that bot siege camp.
yeah, oh, that was a fiesta a little bit. We sent like the whole team down there twice for both sides or something over just a siege camp.
Yeah, why do you think that siege camp was kind of crucial? Such a crucial siege camp in that
I don't
first
think
game.
it was important. We just got blood. Everyone got blood in their eyes and was like, a circle, let's die for it. I don't know.
To your credit, though, you were able to come back from that loss into Battlefield of Eternity, which was, of course, your map pick.
Yes.
Why does your team kind of like Battlefield of Eternity? You definitely have a history of it, both this season and
So
last
if we
season.
talk about it, enemy teams will ban it. So I'm just gonna say it's all luck.
Yeah, definitely don't look at their heroes profile from last season.
Yeah. I think we like it because the objectives are very easily defined. It's not like Tomb of the Spider Queen where it's like, you kind of go here, you kind of go there, you do the things. But in BOE, it's like, no, we're attacking, no, we're defending. It's very simple, so we can execute that well. And me and Argle Booster, I think, have a really good grasp on when to attack, when to defend, when to leverage map pressure and all of that. So we're just good at.
Definitely. Well, both teams, I want to note, in the draft did take very burn-heavy comps. You had the Valar Tannis on the other side, and you guys went with Hanzo and what was your other burner? Raynor. That's what it is.
Yeah, I played the Jimmy.
So
they actually had a little better race than us.
Yeah, what was your strategy when it came, like, at least going into the match, whether you wanted to more try to outrace them or if you were looking to get the engage on the defense?
Yeah, definitely. We tried to be defensive because we kind of knew we couldn't win the race. Everyone likes our Tannis there. He's a pretty hot pick, but we also didn't get Johanna, which is really good against blinding that Artanis. So that kind of meant we weren't going to win the races, so we had to play more defensively and basically more like take the camp and sit under your immortal, which we did very poorly. I think for the first immortal, we like split up. Some people were doing the camp, some people were trying to get on the immortals, and that didn't pan out so hot, but.
Yeah, one thing to note is you definitely were in the driver's seat of that game until the third Immortal phase, in which case Lurk Patrol was able to get the teamfight win in the Immortal. What was it like in your team chat in order to try to turn around that game after losing that third Immortal?
We weren't too worried. We had all 4 buildings up at that point, so we were just taking it as like a, this is one of our lives gone, but we're still totally in a fine position because I think they had no forts at that point, and we had all 4 of our structures, so weren't too worried. Weren't gonna let it get us down, and did fine after. But that's kind of like the reality check where it's like, okay, so these guys, they can kick our butts. Like we have to, kind of respect the team fight again, and tighten up our play.
And then coming into game number 3, Lurk Patrol decided to go with a triple tank setup. So. Yeah. What was your strategy once you saw that third tank getting locked in?
We know they like that comp, so we kind of saw it coming. Really wish we had a Malthael player, but Malthael's hard to play. So,
well, I definitely
that Entomb, Everlasting Feast combo is pretty nuts on those tight chokes. Ugh.
Now, one thing I did notice your team doing a lot of, both teams, were just dancing around your boss. Were you guys kind of just trying to take boss whenever you thought you had an advantage, or was it more just like trying to keep sights on the Lurk Patrol? What was your strategy around your boss?
We think we had a good boss take with Hanzo. So threatening doing boss, if they didn't take it seriously, we could rip boss pretty quickly. So we liked threatening them with that, but we kind of just danced around a lot, and I think in hindsight I would have maybe not made those calls and just started soaking, because we lost every fight. I'll just say it. We did terrible in team fights, so and dragging them all to boss kind of brings everyone there. So it would have been better if we could have, I think, spread out. I think that is what got us a little bit extra behind, was just dancing around boss.
Well, it turned out well in the end for you, as it came down to the last boss, Throw Pit.
The last boss, no curse victory.
Yeah. So, what was it like when you were down a member and you saw Lurk Patrol going on to boss?
So they used 2 ults on our tank, and we kind of knew that they blew a lot of cooldowns on him, and I think it was Argyle made the call like, oh, like if they go for this, that's too greedy. Like we can stop it. And at that point, I was on Junkrat with my like triple nades or whatever, and I was just hitting everyone, lots of AOE everywhere, and yeah, that ended up. We finally ended up winning one fight, but sometimes that is all you need, is one win. And yeah, we rode that to the end.
Well, it was definitely an exciting, very close series. So my last question is, any shoutouts you want to give after today's victory?
Obviously, we're representing Periloot. Our good friend Swill is making keyboards, so periloot.com.
Sounds great. Well, definitely look out for you guys in the future. Both teams played very well, and great start to your season now, coming out with 2-0 so far.
But look out, Periloot's coming to get you.
Well, good luck to you guys, and hopefully I'll be able to catch some of your games in the future.
Yep, good luck. Well, good luck us. Thanks for casting. Bye-bye.
Well, with that, that will be today's one cast. Looking at the schedule ahead, I believe I have cast coming up Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, including an exciting double header on Friday, where we have a heroic and an A match. So definitely, or excuse me, that's on Saturday. We have a late night heroic and A match starting at 9:30 Central Time. But yeah, definitely look out. Basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will be casting. So if you haven't yet followed, thanks to King Helio and Voodoo Zulu for following today, and thanks to Murda for hosting after his cast ended up. Fortunately, I need to now look for someone of my own to raid. If there are any NGS matches still going on late, it looks like Smiley is still going on, so I'll be sending you over to him. But thank you everyone for tuning in to today's match. It was very exciting back and forth match, even if you were just able to catch that last game. Definitely stay tuned for future games, and good luck, and I will see you in the Nexus. Take care.